Hello everyone, welcome to Middle Fantasy. I'm Zach, and we're about to embark on an adventure. Something that future Zach will probably hate me for, and it's one of those where it's just like, he's gonna be like, curse you, present Zach! And present Zach right now is just like, I'm just calm, I'm just peachy right now, because we're going to be doing something that's gonna take a long time to do, but we're going to be having a fun journey along the way. Now, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be punching a hole in my nerd card. I'm going to be attempting something that a couple people will gasp, and some people will just nod in agreement. I'm going to be reading through the Wheel of Time. See, I already see a couple people nodding, and some people going, but that's what we're going to be doing. I have never really read this series. I'm going to be very transparent. I have all the books. I got them actually at a yard sale for like 15 bucks. The first book, The Eye of the World, I've had on my shelf for about 6 or 7 years, and I've attempted to read it 6 times. I'm not even joking. Like, each time has been like I've gotten progressively better. I actually got up to almost the 3rd book a little bit, but I just put it down maybe because I had a lot on my mind, a lot of work, and I've almost completely forgot everything about it. The only things that I can remember are words like the taint, and also that Robert Jordan kind of has like a clothing fetish when it comes to describing stuff. Maybe that's why I'm wearing this ornate coat with these zippers and my black Zach Baggins Haunted Museum shirt that I got. You know, I could actually tell the lineage of this whole shirt, but that's really all I know about it. Now, what am I going to be doing with this? It's going to be more like a read-along type of thing, where what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to be reading a few chapters each week, and I'm going to be sitting down, and I'm going to be recording my thoughts about it, summarizing very briefly. We're going to get into it, and we're going to go through this journey together, because I feel like that will be the appropriate way to do it, because I've always been kind of intimidated on how long the books are. I mean, I'm a guy that reads doorstop fantasy, but even this kind of intimidated me, maybe because I wasn't sure if I wanted to read a 14-book series, but every time someone's told me about it, oh, you'll like it, you'll really enjoy it, and even recently people keep telling me, like Chase from Fantasy Talk, he's like, you should read this will be a lot of fun, and I was like, thank you. I'm going to attempt this. This is going to be a little different because I'm going to be sitting down, this is going to be a very weekly thing, this is going to be something that I'm going to get done, and by the end of it, I'm either going to like the Wheel of Time, I might hate it, but at the end of the day, it's more of the journey, because isn't that the whole point of the Wheel of Time? It keeps turning, I guess. I don't know anything about it, all I know is that it's a Wheel of Time. Keep in mind, there's going to be some things, some ground rules. First off, I'm not going to be looking up any guides, I'm not going to be really reading ahead, and if I am, it's because I'm reading a little ahead because I can record videos later on. Second thing is, I'm not looking up any outside resources. I don't want to get spoiled. I know that's kind of the hard thing. Like, I really want to be in this community, but at the same time, I'm afraid of getting spoiled. So I'm going to try to interact, but if we're only talking about those chapters, and it's very spoiler-free. If not, I'm going to not try to, respond to the comments or even really look at them unless it's related to what I'm reading about, because I really, really don't want to get spoiled, and that's, one of my main concerns about this. And lastly, when it comes down to this, I'm not going to be doing this all on my green screen. Sometimes I'll be in my, my bookcase, sometimes I might even be outside, or maybe I might even be around the world. We'll see how it goes. But I've almost done the math, and this is going to take quite a while to do. But I'm making this series more for myself, but at the same time, for new readers, old readers, and people to experience the books, because, again, I know nothing about this series, and this is going to be interesting because there's a lot of influence in a lot of books that I've read that come from basically the Wheel of Time. Like, the first time I even heard about the Wheel of Time was actually when, this is how old I'm going to be, is I think when the Nether finally came out for Minecraft, and Notch was talking about how proud he was that he's one of these people that finished the Wheel of Time, and people were like, oh my god, like, that's kind of like, I've always had like this mystical element, this magical element to the Wheel of Time that I really do want to experience, from the sprawling world down to the characters, because I've heard good things about it, I've read it, kinda, but not really, but in the end of the day, we're going to be doing this, and this is going to be exciting, so why don't we kick off the vlog of time with this cool introduction that I totally spent 20 bucks on, so check it out! So why don't we kick off this adventure? We're going to be talking about The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, and we're going to be talking about the prologue, Dragon Mount. Now, when it comes to prologues and fantasy stories, for me, they're very hit or miss because what a prologue is supposed to do in theory is set up the tone, kind of set up the rules, and kind of set up what the stakes are going to be. And sometimes they're hit, sometimes they're miss, because sometimes the author sets them up in a way where once you read the entire series and you read the prologue, things start to click into place. And now that you understand the world a lot more, you understand the implications. Though when it comes to Dragonmount, I love this prologue so much. It's actually kind of cool a little bit. It's very dark and mysterious, but also horrifying, and really sets up what type of crazy world we're going to be in. So I apologize already if I get names wrong in the beginning. I don't have the audiobook. I'll probably purchase it just so I can have that audiobook experience and have the pronunciation guide. So I'm just going to be putting down the names down below. I apologize for that. I'm going to be trying. So we follow Luce Theron Temelon, who is looking for his sweet Ilyena, who it turns out everyone in this castle is dead. And he doesn't realize it, even though there's bodies all over the place, people like shot with like lightning, people stuck in like floors because I guess the stone melted around them. It is a horrifying scene with like dead children, dead old people. It's just, this is like a whole-on massacre. And he just doesn't understand what's happening with this. And the way that Robert Jordan kind of describes it is interesting because when we're looking at it, he isn't aware, but as he's describing, like, nothing is disturbed except for the corpses around the whole place is just horrifying to me. Like, oh my God. Like, you already know your stakes are high when you've killed women and children and the old people. So we see this, and he's not the only one that's alone because another mysterious figure shows up. And this guy is just like, yo, I'm the betrayer of hope, and you are kind of gone a little nutso because this is what's happening. And you don't even know what's happening. You don't even know left from right or your ones from your twos. Isn't that right, Luce Theron? And Luce Theron's like, oh man, this is, wait till my wife sees him, even though his wife is obviously dead. And it's like such a gut punch when this guy, the betrayer of hope, is pretty much like, I'm going to fix your brain for a couple seconds to realize what you've done. And he's like, shoots like healing beams into his brain. And basically Luce Theron remembers just long enough to realize what he's done. And this is where I really like how they have this implication of he realizes what's happening. And he's just this, he's a broken man. He's gotten to the point of where he's just like, oh my God, I've murdered people. I'm going to be a kinslayer. Because as we see within this, he killed everyone. He's killed everyone, he feels around, and he realizes he is the only one left in the entire place except for this other guy, even though he doesn't feel him all too much. And that's kind of what I like about this, is just some really great descriptions. And, you have like, we've been doing this battle for 10 years, and this guy is just like 10 years. We've been doing this since the beginning of time. We're going to be doing it until the sun explodes and time runs out. It's like, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of like reincarnation and almost like Avatar The Last Airbender of like, I guess they're called the dragon. It's just like, the wheel of time, it keeps perpetually spinning, and how you're always going to have a person that's the betrayer of hope. You're going to always have someone named the Dragon Reborn. And you go from there. And I love that pretty much Luce Theron destroys the castle. I'm guessing it's called Dragonmount. He destroys it. Basically turns himself into a mountain of molten lava, and the betrayer of hope's like, darn, I'll get you next time. There'll always be a next time. As it slowly progresses into like these two summaries about like, the wheel turns and spins and ages come and go. And I like that because it pretty much sets up that this isn't the first time this has happened, nor will it be the last. And I'm interested to see it going forward when we actually get to the chapter 1, what's going to be happening with that. I found this to be really strong because I felt that Robert Jordan gave some really good descriptions of just this whole castle, all the corpses, and even like the interactions between them two is fun because it's almost like a villain just monologuing to this person that has no idea what's happening. Though the funniest thing, I know that the magic in this world is kind of tainted, but it's still funny to see the word taint. I don't know why, it's just, I guess that's already a joke. It's like, Luce Theron, like, he felt the taint, like, oily taint come up from the ground, and it was like, what? Oh my God, no. But I like how he also describes the magic system almost as, like, this fluid thing. It's like the force a little bit. It's like, it's alive, but also at the same time, I guess in the men's line of this magic, it's kind of corrupted in this way where, you know, he blows up an entire castle and makes a mountain out of a molehill, quintessentially, and that there's going to be a prophecy. And yeah, like those are the crazy things about it, and I'm interested to see almost all the implications of it. But that's kind of like when I felt like what was strong about it was that you have this conversation, but also you have like this, you know, hard open of just like murder and destruction, and you're understanding some of the magic system just a little bit, just they can kill people. It isn't just like, here's the magic, I can heal people, I can shoot lightning, but there's implications and there's danger within this magic system, which I really did enjoy. Now, what's going to be happening? I feel like we're going to cut to like 2,000 years later, or we're going to cut to like 50 years later, or you know, it will probably have to be like later on, just because when it comes down to it, you can't just have, well, this happened last week, and then the new person comes and he has like, oh, this is X, Y, and Z. So we're going to see what happens with this. I'm excited. Next week we'll be reading a couple more chapters and figuring out the story, and it's a really strong opening to a really interesting adventure. So we'll see what happens. Though there weren't any, you know, stuff about like clothing, but you know, we'll see what happens when we get there. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you all so much. This is going to be an interesting adventure. Future Zach, if you're watching this, I hope you have a fun time. And if you don't, you have the ability to just spend money on dumb things. Like if you want that gigantic skeleton, just go buy it, treat yourself. I'm so sorry. But we're going on this adventure. We're going to go through it kicking and screaming if we must. But from what people tell me, we're going to have a lot of fun. So everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please subscribe down below. We're going to be going on this adventure together. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be super interesting. But at the end of the day, we're all going to have our journey before destination a little bit. Well, everyone, thank you all for watching. And like always, may your food and drink ever be tasteful, and may your books be filled with fantasy and adventure. Bye, everyone. See ya.